Okay, so today we are going to show you how to perform a functional analysis. Okay, so continuing on this ATM example, so on the desktop, let's double click on the files we saved from last time, searching for license. Okay, so this is what we have from last time. Okay, so here from this um, system engineering, we click on the requirements. So we have several requirements here we made last time. Okay, so based on these requirements, today we are going to build a functional model. Okay, for the ATM systems. So if you recall, what we learned about this core function relations with other elements. Okay, so for the requirements from last time, these are the basis for design. Okay, now requirements, within requirements, the lower requirements refines the upper requirements. Okay, and requirements are being specified by some use cases. Okay, and for the functions here, okay, which is the focus of today's lecture. So functions are based on requirements, okay, or requirements are basis of the functions. So these are two-way relations. Okay. Now within functions, functions are decomposed by lower functions, and upper functions decomposed by lower functions, and lower functions decomposes upper functions. Okay, so within functions we have these relations, and you can use some sysml elements, use cases, and state chart, so incorporate the functions together. And later on in the design, once you have functions defined, you need to specify the components. Okay, the components perform a function, or functions are performed by certain components. Okay. And what other things core provide is the item. Okay, items are the input or output, or the triggers. Some mechanism triggers functions. Okay, so in the future, if you have to define some input output from a function, you will need to use the item elements. Okay, so these are the partial relation maps for the core. Okay, so back to our core file here. So what you need to do is go to the functions, this category. Okay. Now you notice here there's some default function has been specified, perform system context function. Now you can use this function to start with, but I prefer to delete it and start something from scratch. Okay. So let's right click here, right click, or you can use a new data, new elements, the same thing. Okay. So I prefer to use my mouse, right click, new elements. Let's see, let's define this overall system function called ATM functions. Okay. Now we call this number 0. Okay. This number system is very similar to the requirements system. Okay. So you use the different levels, like different dots, to illustrate the hierarchical structure. Okay, so here we call this is the let's see, model. So we call this 0 because this is the overall, okay, system name that we call 0. Okay, now for the ATM function model, we should have several functions which are necessary, okay, to perform the overall ATM functions. The first function, let's call this. The first thing you need to do is to verify your account. Okay, verify account. So notice here, every function we defined, except for the upper level, the highest level. Every lower level function, you need to have a verb in there. Okay, do something, right? Recall the syntax we learned from class. Do something. Okay, so this first function we call it 1.0. Okay, description system users can you need to verify their account before proceeding to the other functions. Okay, using their ATM card to verify account. So basically, I just give you some example here. Okay, basically this description section, you need to describe what this function is. Okay, what does it do? Okay, what is the purpose it serves? Now the doc, PUID, and title, these are similar to the requirements. PUID is project unique identifier, often used system development specifications. See, mouse over here. Same entry, multiple documents. So if you have external documents, this is a place for you to identify the sources. Okay, and also the title of the labels of the documentation. Okay. So for this example, we don't have any external documents. So we are going to leave this blank. And the other thing here I want you to pay attention is the duration. Okay, if you click on this little button here, you will see there's a pop-up window. So Core provide a simulator function. Okay, so once you build the functional model, Core allows you to simulate the whole process in terms of how long it takes to finish. Okay, it's more of a discrete event simulation model. It's very convenient sometimes if you have the timing information. Okay, so for this window, you can put some timing information here. If time is constant and how many seconds, or if it's a random distribution. Okay, you can choose from normal, exponential, Poisson, whatever is appropriate. Okay, so here, because we don't have any timing information recorded, so I'm going to leave this blank. Okay, not do anything here. So okay, so this is the first function. Okay, now we know that ATM functions does not exist until you have all the lower functions specified. Okay, so basically 1.0 verify account is a child function for zero function. Okay, so in order to reflect that, you need to define the relations. Okay, recall how do we define relations? Is in the middle section of the core interface. Okay, so with this function being defined or selected, you can scroll down here and find decomposes, double click on it. So you see this window. So basically, because 1.0 is a sub-function, child function, so it decomposes upper functions. Okay, so that's why I chose decomposes. So you choose 0 and add. So basically, I add these relations. Okay, click on OK. So now you see the little icon has been built, and if you click on 0, decompose by, there's an icon besides it. Okay, so basically, if you want to see the hierarchy, little slow. Okay, hierarchy, you can see the hierarchical structure has been established. Okay, so 0 function is decomposed by 1.0 function. Okay, so going back to properties, let's build some other functions here. Okay, let's see. 2.0 is deposit funds. Okay, let's call it 2.0. Okay, in description we say users can deposit cash or check. Okay, using the ATM system. Okay, and then another function is withdraw, right? Funds. Let's call this 3.0. It's another lower function. So users can withdraw funds from their checking account or saving account. Okay, so basically this is 3.0. And then let's make one more thing here. Let's call this transfer funds. Okay, so number is 4.0. Okay, so users can transfer funds between checking account and saving account. Okay, so basically that is the transfer. And then the last thing I want to put here is the check balance, right? So you can let's call 5.0. Okay, users can check their balance. Account balance. Okay. Okay. Checking account or saving. Okay. Okay. So with this being specified or defined, you need to link all these 5 subfunctions as a subfunction for 0 function. Okay. Similarly to the verify account. So, but in order to do it all together, I'm gonna choose upper level 0 function and decompose it by. See here has been decomposed by only 1 function. Okay, already. So with 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 all selected, I'm gonna add all these together. Okay, and click on OK. So basically, you can see the hierarchy structure is all these 5 functions has been defined as a subfunction for 0. Okay, so basically we have 0 function as overall ATM functions. Okay, model, and this function is being decomposed using more detailed 5 level functions. 5 functions. Now first level 5 functions. Okay. And to show you how to do further down, so let's see, we can do deposit funds, deposit check. Let's see, add another function here. Okay, go to properties. Let's right click, adding a deposit cash. Okay, let's call this 1.1. Okay, I'm gonna skip all the description. Okay, for the demonstration purposes. And adding another one, let's call this deposit checks. Okay, let's call 1.2. Okay, so and notice the 1.1, 1.2 has been organized under 1.0, but does not mean this has been linked to 1.0 yet. Okay, you need to actually build this semantic, okay, using the relations. Okay, so similar thing. Okay, click on 1.0 and decompose by what? By these 2 functions. Okay. Okay, adding these 2 functions. So if you click on 0 hierarchy, you see there is 2 levels has been established. Okay, so this is what we call functional model. Okay, functional model is the hierarchical structure of functions, and again, because the requirements define those functions, it's a good idea to link the requirements to this also. Okay, so for example, the verify account properties, okay, is based on based on some requirement, deposit requirements. Okay, add and deposit. No, sorry, what did I do? Okay, go back. Verify account. Let's see, remove it. Made a mistake. Okay, so deposit right here. Deposit cash is based on, one more time, based on deposit requirements. Okay, deposit requirements, and withdrawal is based on withdrawal requirements. Okay, and transfer funds is based on transfer fund requirements. Okay, and check balance. Check balance is based on, I don't have any check balance requirements. It's okay. Okay, so basically, if you go to requirements, you can see the 0 requirements hierarchy. Okay, everything has been established. Okay, so these, for example, okay, these 2 requirements, refined system level requirements, and also being serve as a basis for these two functions. Okay, so that is what we call traceability. Okay, you establish this traceability so you can making sure every single requirement has been fulfilled, and also every single functions has a rationale. Okay, so we call this model-based system engineering modeling. And it's one advantage of doing this is in the future, we want to make sure every requirement has been at least considered once. Okay, so using the traceability, we can ensure that. Okay, and this link will be maintained for you by core automatically. Okay, so let's go back to functions. Okay, now we have these functions defined. Okay, it's the next step. We need to build a functional model. Okay, functional flow diagram model. Okay, FFBD. Okay, so notice here the only tab we have here is EFFBD. E stands for enhanced, meaning that besides FFBD, you can have some additional information, including the input, output, or some other triggering informations. Okay, we use items to define that. Okay, so if we click on this, you will see that Core has made a FFBD for you already. Okay, by default, it just made a sequential model. Okay, one after another. Okay, because Core thinks this is a very common structure. However, this structure might not be correct for some models. For example, for our ATM model, this structure is not correct, obviously. So we need to delete this structure and redo it according to our own design, right? So first thing you need to do is to cut all these blocks. The reason I said cut is because you do not want to delete it. Do not delete the function. Okay? If you select this function and press delete key, what happens is it will not only delete this block, but also will delete this function right here. Okay? So which is not what we want. So we click on this and go to cut. Okay? Control X. Okay? And also Control X. Cut. Okay? So what it does is just cut the graph, not the functions. Okay? So remember, cut, not delete. Okay? So now we have a blank, empty FFBD. So the good practice to build this FFBD is start from left to the right. Okay? From out to the inside. Out, what I mean is from outside, I have loop, outer loop, and go inside, internal the functions. Okay, so it's a good idea to have something in writing. You hand draw some of the FFBD already. It's easier for you to do it, to put in here than just using a mental thinking. Okay, because it is easy to make mistakes. Okay, so the first function we need to do is to verify count. Okay, now you can do verify count. Oh, sorry. You click on this and click on insert. Right click, okay, on this arrow here, and insert element. So first element is verify count, right? Add. So there you have a verify count. But however, when you think about this whole function for verifying a count, you cannot have user do this, forever, right? Keep trying. So most system we design only allow user to try 3 times. Okay, so in this case, I need to use some of the construct on the right. Okay, notice here some of the construct we can use to develop our functional flow diagram. Okay, so you need to also cut this first because we need to making sure only allowed to use 3 times verification. Okay, so we cut it. Now, which one do we use to achieve these 3 times? So it's like a loop, but it's not a loop selected by user. Okay, it's only allow user to repeat 3 times. Okay, so in this case we use this construct. Iterate. Okay, iteration 3 times, meaning if some condition is true, we allow you to repeat, iterate, right? If this is false, then we just terminate the loop, okay? So what we're doing here is to build this, we can just insert this iterate, okay? Insert, iterate. Now, because we need to have some condition defined, okay? So we need to define a domain set. So in core, the domain set is a set of conditions that specify the iteration conditions, okay? So before we insert this iterate, we go to the domain set. Okay, right here. Okay, we click on domain set on this menu tree. So right click new elements. Okay. So what is the name for this new domain set? That's the condition, verification condition. Verification condition. Okay. Here, okay, let's call this 1.0. Okay, 1.0. So, okay, you can specify users are only allowed to try 3 times. Okay, of verification. Okay. Now, with this being specified, let's go back to functions. Okay, and let's click on this. FFBD. Okay, now we have the domain set. You can go ahead, insert, right click, insert my iterate, and specify this condition. Okay, so that means the condition is true. You allow you to repeat, iterate here. Okay, now it's like programming. If you do a loop, a do until loop. Okay, or while this is true, do this. Okay, while this not true, okay, terminate your loop. Okay, so with this has been established. So with the inside, this arrow, you click on it, and you need to insert a function. Insert element, verify count. Okay, so now you have it. So the first step is to verify account only 3 times. Okay. Now, after your account has been verified, you need to go ahead, proceed to close the Chinese one, to the next step, right? So you can go ahead and deposit or withdraw or transfer check balance. Okay. So these 4 functions are not necessarily in a sequence, right? You can do any order, right? Or just select anyone. So in this case, we need to use a parallel structure, okay? But it's not the parallel, it's called select. Okay, select. I know it's a little confusing, but it's just how the core define this. Okay, so right click, insert a select or, because parallel is and. And means everything has to go together. Okay, you cannot proceed until everything has been performed at least once. Okay, at least once. But a select is a or, meaning I only need to select one of the branches. Okay, so I select or here. Okay, how many branches are they? So you count how many. One, 2, 3, 4. Okay, you have 4 functions need to be put on these branches. Okay, 4. Okay, so now you have 4. Now one thing is, okay, the other thing is I want you to pay attention here. Imagine that we design a system that allow user to do this multiple times. You cannot have them just deposit and leave, right? They're allowed to go back and deposit again, or go back to withdraw, or check balance. So in this case, let me cut this, Control X. So we need to allow them have a loop, right? A loop on this case, okay? Allow user to come back again and again and again until they choose to exit, okay? So what we need to do is insert a loop first. And within loop, I need to insert a OR, right? And again, 4 branches. Okay. So each branches, I click on each of the branch, add a function. So click on this branch, and insert elements. Let's see first the deposit found. Okay. And then withdraw, and then insert elements and transfer funds. And the last one is the check balance. Okay. Please pay attention here. Okay. I only put first level functions in this FFBD. Okay. I did not put 1.1, 1.2 here. Why? Because 1.1 and 1.2 are inside 2. Should be 2.1. I made a mistake here. Okay. I should go back, change it. Okay, sorry. How can I? 2.1, 2.2. Okay. Let's check balance. Okay, check. That's all wrong. Okay, so it should be properties. Okay. This decomposed by totally wrong. Okay. Sorry, I made a mistake here. I need to remove from the verified account. I need to establish this to decomposes deposit funds. Okay. It's a mistake. I'm sorry. Apologize for that. 2.0 and decomposed by 2.1, 2.2. Add. Okay. All right. So going back. So going back to this. So if you click on the 0 function here, so notice I did not put 2.1, 2.2 in here behind it. Okay. On the same level because 2.1, 2.2 are inside 2.0. Okay. So at this level, it's not visible. Right? It's like open the box, you can see 2.1, 2.2. Now the box is closed at this level, so you cannot see it. Okay, only if you click on 2.0, you can see them. Okay, we'll fix this later. Okay, so I want you to pay attention here. Never ever put different levels of functions together on the same FFBD. Okay, it's a mistake. Okay, do not make that mistakes. Okay, so so we have the loop here. We have the OR branches. Now I need to put on the loop exit, okay? Because any branches I can get out, right? So I insert loop exit. Click on this. Okay, whole thing. The thing here, okay, you can select function or select the whole thing, okay? So depending upon where do you click on. So you need to click on the whole thing, whole branch, okay? Not just this, okay? Whole thing and insert loop exit. Okay. Insert loop exit. Okay. Now we have the first level FFBD completed. Okay. So please pay attention to all the steps. And like I said, the best practice is from outside, working from outside towards the inside, okay, from left to right, okay, and that way you don't miss a construct, okay. And the best thing to do is have something enjoying first, and not just like using your mental thinking and logic to do it, okay. Sometimes, especially if the FFBD getting bigger, it's difficult to capture everything in one time. All right, so let's go to the second level. Click on the 2.0 here, okay, 2.0 here. So you have 2.1, 2.2. Again, by default, I have the sequential, okay, which is not correct. So Control X, call it, and adding a loop. Okay, adding a loop. Click on Insert Loop. Okay. Within loop, I can insert in the OR again, right? Because you can do either way. And each branches, click on each branch. I insert 2.1, Okay, I insert 2.2. Okay, again, you need to insert a loop exit. Okay, loop exit. So in this case, okay, when you see the functional model, you first see the first level, and then you click on, you see the second level, okay? And these levels are not, so basically these are 2.0, okay? This is 2.0. That is why 2.0 does not include 2.1, 2.2 here, because it's inside 2.0, okay? Basically here, okay? What else? Okay, so once you have finished your model, and the next thing is to do is probably a good idea to save your model, right? Save everything you have done. So Core has a very strange way to save. Yeah, it's not like any other software. You can have a save button here. You can save the diagram, but does not have a save option here. So the thing you want you to use is export. Okay, so you can export to different format, but the data file is the university data file. Okay, so go to File, Export, University data file. It's a project backup. Okay, these are not available for the university edition. Okay, so choose project backup and next. And where do you save your model? Go to let's see, go to my desktop, and I'm gonna use same model, same file. Okay, overwrite it. Yeah. Okay, so being saved. And also you see the background is light blue. So if you want to change the background color, you can do that. Okay, you can change to white if this fits your taste. If you don't like this color here, I can choose to white or different color if you want. Some crazy color. That's not good. Okay, so I like to use white. Okay, because in the future, if you print, the black and white is easier to see. Okay, so once you have this saved, you can also, just like the requirements I showed you, you can export this to a Word document by using the script, right? Let's go to Tools, Run Script. Chinese. Okay, so in this window here, the drop-down list, I choose System Description Document. Okay. No primary. Okay. So these are the sections we included, right, last time. So the new items we want to include is a functional behavior model, right? Functional behavior model being added here, and okay. If you want to add some other things, we don't have any acronym and everything. Okay, so for now we are happy with these sections, and click on OK. And we want to have the FFBD, okay, selected. Okay, if you want enhanced, let's remove this. And you can want FFBD edit. Okay, okay. And where do you want to save it? I want to save this. Okay, RDF. Okay. If you want change name, see sample functions. Okay, RTF is fine. I start compiling. Everything's good. Close this. No errors. That's great. Okay, so so now you have this functional functional model compiled, and then project can change to XYZ, whatever your name it is. And this is date. Prepare for your instructor name right here. Okay, and your name goes here. And this table contents. So highlight this field and right-click, update. Okay. Requirement traceability matrix. That's good. And then list the figures. Right-click, update. And so now you have it. Okay. This first is requirements. These are requirements we did. Okay. And the functional model. Start with the functional list. Okay. All these functions we have here. And the ATM machine model, zero model function right here. Okay, let's see if we can change the color here. If you can edit picture, you cannot edit. Okay, good. Borders, effect, shadow effect, position. Okay, where is the color? Border, arrange, size, recolor, maybe color, wash out, so you can see. Yeah, black and white. Choose black and white, so you see this something, you know, pure black and white is easier to see, right? If you don't like it, you can go back. Okay, your choice. I like to use black and white because it's easier for me to read. Okay, especially you print out in the future. Okay, color does not show well. Okay, grayscale is fine too. Okay, automatic, black and white. And these are the reference functions, which is the immediate previous function, okay, in the upper level. Okay, so save your file, and there you have it. Okay, so you can use these tools to make your model quickly, and also establish the traceability with your requirements. Okay, so this is very convenient, and also for your final project, you can use this as an attachment if you want. Okay.